What are your thoughts on creatine?
Oh, 100% bonus.
Like, if you've never taken it before, do you feel like it's wise to start it in the middle of a season?
That's a good question. Yes,
Okay,
I
that's where I'm
would.
at right now. I'm like, and I'm kind of feeling it too. I played a tournament down here in Florida, and I just started cramping, and I was like, this is not good. This is
Mm.
usually not me. So I'm trying to decide, should I hold off
Did you
until
think
we
the
get into the
creatine was
winter?
doing that?
Potentially. I was very hydrated, ate well, slept well. I didn't feel like I overworked the week leading up to it. So
Okay.
I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out like
What's your
where did
what's
I
your
go wrong?
sodium intake?
So I didn't have as many electrolytes as I usually did. I
Weird.
didn't have my
And you
uh,
cramped?
come on. I didn't have my little packets that I usually have,
Hmm.
but every time I went to the restroom, it was very clear. Let's just put it that way. So
Okay.
water wise, I felt fine, but I did need. I mean, I was eating pickles and lots of sodium throughout the day,
Hmm.
but the only difference was the creatine and lack of the electrolytes that I normally put in my water. So
Okay.
I don't know. Trying to figure it
Um, let's see. I'm gonna pull up a post. I'm gonna screen share something that I got on the background because I
out.
just
Cool.
saw it. I'm not saying that everybody should definitely be looking at Instagram for all of their knowledge, but this guy puts out pretty good stuff. His Dr. James uh, Dinick, Dinicolantano. Anyway,
Something like that.
um, there's been a lot of like resurgence of sodium and how bad or good it could be, right? This here, it lets you know, of course, obviously, that sodium is absolutely necessary, but most people aren't getting enough when they exercise. So it does help you maintain proper hydration. Sodium got just a bad rap for a while because they kept dumping it into processed foods,
Hmm.
right? And if you're not hydrating and your salt content is super high, well, then you're going to screw yourself, right? Now you're going to slow down everything. You're going to have a lot of blood imbalance as well. But for optimal health, here it says, study suggests 3 to 5 thousand milligrams of sodium per day is for optimal health. So now I'm starting all of my days with an Element. Not sponsored by them or anything, but Element, hey, reach out because
Shout out.
using your product and we got an audience.
Shout
Uh,
out.
but I start that and then I also use it at night. I don't have a lot of processed foods. I eat pretty whole. Janelle cooks really well. But um, the next line is here. It says that this can increase by 2,000 milligrams for every hour of exercise performed. So if you're playing a tournament, yeah, that's what, a 10-hour day? So you're looking at 25,000 milligrams
Wow.
of sodium that you need. And then if you're adding caffeine, which absolutely depletes your sodium, then you're going to have to continue to add that. So, it's one of the things that I for sure failed at while I was playing. But if you want to experiment with it, if you want to see what it's like, guys, just add it. Add some salt content. And when we're talking about those salt contents, like you'll see them blown up on food packages. That's a different style of sodium. If you're just adding like sea salt or table salt, we're talking pinches, like a hefty pinch between your finger. Throw that in your water. See how it feels. Do it before you start playing. See how it feels, and it in a big way. So the creatine can pull water from your muscles, but not in a huge way.
Yeah.
There was notes of some people cramping, but that might have also been because those people were able to work out longer and harder, right?
True.
That's part of it. That's what creatine does. It allows you to continue to work hard and get more reps and stay at your max percentage of speed or lifting for longer. So that and caffeine are definitely two of the things that we know 100% increase athletic performance, your
Yeah.
ability to think and do well. And now if we add salt and water, we're in a good spot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
before
I
you give up on creatine, I would say
keep experimenting.
let's add a bunch of pinches of salt or element or something like that.
Yeah, I've also been experimenting with caffeine intake too, because for a while my heart was doing this weird thing where it would start beating super fast, and I would intake so much caffeine throughout a tournament day, dude. There was one tournament I played in Virginia Beach, and I had a whole box of Red Bulls, and I like finished it by the end of the day, and I was like, I don't know if that's good or not.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't be doing that. So I've kind of like taken a step back, just experimenting a little bit, honestly, just feeling what works. Because I feel like I mean, the what is it called? The FDA? No, it's not the FDA. What is it?
FDA, Food and Drug Administration.
It's maybe I don't know who says how much is the right amount of caffeine to intake. Is that the so they
Yep.
usually say what 400? Isn't that the max amount per day?
That would be max. Yeah, because
Yeah,
400 would be strong cups of coffee. That would be like 4 strong cups of coffee. You can say
gotcha.
that the average cup of coffee could be like 80 milligrams. Tea, I think you're around like between 30 and 50,
Gotcha.
depending on the type of tea. But then when you have stuff like Jake Paul's thing, his company's getting ripped apart for doing the exact same thing that everybody else does.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
he's like, hey, you have 200 milligrams
What is
in
that prime? Is that
one
prime?
serving. Yeah,
I think something like
yeah.
that.
So 200 milligrams in one serving, like that's a lot, and it's fast.
Yeah,
Um, so if you're having 2 or 3 or 4 of those, you're already above and beyond your
yeah,
caffeine intake. So
yeah.
if you guys are looking for coffee caffeine advice, start slow, see what it does. The thing about everything that we have to do to improve is we have to measure. And if you guys aren't measuring, it's a problem. How do you measure? Well, we start the simplest way. If you don't have millions of dollars that you can do on blood tests and machines and everything, then you just take a look at after your workout, you write down what was my performance and what was my energy. Energy and performance are different, but rate it out of 10. After that, you just write down what you ingested for the last 24 hours. If you want to get into sleep, you write down what time you went to sleep, what time you didn't. But after 3 weeks of doing this for every lift and every practice, you're going to see some patterns, especially if you set it up in a nice, easy Excel sheet and you take a look at all your ratings above 7 and you say, all right, what did I have before that? Take all your ratings below 7, say, what did I have before that? But feeling it or trying to understand in that way, it's just not going to happen. I
Right.
saw this Instagram post again or Facebook post, and the difference between a 250 and a 300 hitter, right? Absolute, like 250 is garbage, 300 is Hall of Fame. You're looking at over the course of a season, it's one hit every week.
Well,
So if you're not actively measuring that and writing in a Hall of Famer, right? You have to measure these things to understand, and that's what you should do with your game at home and any performance that you do.